subscriber sent me a video series on a husband and wife team that they go by the name of Abraham Hicks. And like every other video literature that you guys send me, I take the time to listen, read, and take it in. And just about everything you send me resonates because, as you often point out, the things that you share with me are things that I've touched on or have talked about in a video somewhere. I believe I have about 70 plus 77 videos or so at this point. And the constant thing that comes up through all of these videos is what we are not our physical body, we're not our race, we're not our genders, we are far beyond anything that the architects of this manipulated realm has convinced us or conditioned us to believe, accept. One of the videos that in the series that I seen, it was a woman who stood up. She was from Canada, and she talks about being in a subway where there was a bomb hidden in a locker. And I'm going to just kind of tell you the story, and I'm going to basically bring it all full circle to help you understand, better understand the true power of your mind. This woman basically described an event where the bomb exploded, but when it happened, she said time literally stood still and her attention was immediately focused on the locker where the bomb was. Now, by this point, she described perceiving this from a higher perspective, and she said that she saw the door slowly open, and she saw the ball of fire from the explosion slowly become larger, expanding. And she said in a millimeter of a second, she started doing these incredible calculations and tabulations and all that good stuff. And she was doing this from a higher mind perspective. And she even threw in a joke that, and I'm not even good at math, but in that heightened sense of danger and awareness in the possible exit point, because we all have exit points, and I'll talk about that at another time. Exit points meaning set timelines that we put into place by way of pre-birth agreements should we decide to exit out of this realm if it becomes too much or we feel we've done enough, whatever the case may be. But again, I'll come back to that at another time. I'm always throwing in some cliffhangers, y'all know how I do. But she said that she saw this explosion and she was looking at this from a higher mind perspective, doing these incredible calculations and tabulations and coordinates or what have you. And she said the next thing she knew, her physical body was moved completely out of harm's way and the bomb exploded. Now, the point in using her story is to show you guys that most of the times when we see what we perceive to be a horrible death, be it a plane crash, car accident, and if any of us have ever talked to people who've been in a really bad car accident, they always say they don't remember because it is shut off from the mind of the physical vessel, but your higher mind calculated all of that and saw the entire thing from a bird's eye point of view and had separated from the particular event. So there's really no terrible death per se. Death is probably the most easiest thing that we will ever experience, believe it or not. But anyway, where I'm using this story is to point out that even someone as humble and didn't really understand all of these things used her life story to convey the message that in that moment she realized that her mind wasn't here, but it's actually non-localized and is capable of doing things and observing and calculating and instantly coming to incorporating incredible coordinates without much effort at all. This is an example of how powerful our true mind, higher self, really is. Now, if we were to ever talk to someone who's been in a traumatic accident or what have you, many of them will say they don't remember the impact or anything. But if you were to talk to them a few months or maybe a couple of years later, they always talk about having what they think is a reoccurring dream and of the accident, and they always see this dream from an objective point of view. And they often talk about how they are standing outside of the vehicle and knowing that they're inside the car, and they see all of this going on. Again, the power of the higher mind is truly magnificent. The other element is that when we shift our consciousness just outside of this 3D vibratory frequency range, we literally perceive this reality the way it really is, a slow vibrating realm of untold subatomic particles, neurons, all of those elements that comprise this, what we believe to be reality. When we look at it from the inside out, it's incomprehensible. But whenever we're in a heightened state of danger, or your adrenaline is going to the point where you feel your life is at stake, or someone you love's life is at stake, that higher mind power kicks in, and you in that instant are a super being. You're in super conscious mode. And there are untold numbers of stories out there about the true power of the higher mind. So when we talk about our higher self, there are so many stories, some of you have them of your own, that are perfect testimonies as to the power of the higher mind. So the next time we talk about the higher self, think about these stories and do your research and read up on them, or draw on an experience that you had where your higher mind was in the driver's seat and you realized in that moment that you are not your body and that this is far from reality. And when you get there, you'll realize and better understand that death is an illusion, life is continuous, and there is and will always be so much more to us than meets the eye. Thank you for this moment, guys, and as always, happy travels.